Everyone, it's Linda from LindaZ in Arlington Heights. Ready for the holidays? You only have, let's see, about 3 more days before all of the madness begins. So I would hope that today you'll relax a little, take a few minutes, have a cup of coffee or a cup of hot chocolate. That would be really good right now, I think. And also, what I would love to have you think about doing is this quick, simple little mug rug that I'm going to show you, a holiday stocking stuffer that's so easy and so quick to do that I know you'll be able to get it done in a very short time. I am going to do a couple of quick steps. It's, again, when you do a mug rug, and I'll show you, this is the part that has been done already. I can see it right here, hopefully. And it has 2 pieces. You can do a small one or a bigger small one like this. It says the Happy Holidays. Or you could do a little bit longer one where your coffee and your Christmas cookie would go here. Again, it kind of depends on your scraps, what you've got left over. And that's what I used. I didn't, there's no set pattern because you can use the amounts of fabric that you want. There are some good little tips that I'm going to show you about batting and backing and that kind of thing. So let's get started. The first thing that I'm going to show you is that this little piece here was actually, I just took 2 pieces of fabric, a black and a holiday color, because I wanted the solid color to show with the metallic thread. So I first took the black thread and put it in my hoop. On this particular one, I used Perfect Stick just because I happened to have a hoop that was already hooped with a Perfect Stick. That's where you score it, turn it back, and then plop your design right on, and it sticks to your design. The second one that I did here, I didn't have the Perfect Stick, but what I did was kind of fun. This is a layer of batting, and it's the embroidery batting that I think works so well when you're doing embroidery. This is the wrong side, of course. And I went right through the embroidery batting when I was doing this. And then I put a layer of, and it doesn't, you can hardly see it here because it was white, the no-show mesh fusible. And that's what I hoop the hoop with, is the no-show mesh fusible. And that's sticky, I think you know. And then I put my fabric down like this before I embroidered it, and would put that down on, let me take a smaller piece, on your, first I'd put a layer of the embroidery batting, and then on the fusible stabilizer, I would put this down and I would press this just in the center. I might have a little extra on the outside of the fusible depending on the size of the hoop that you're using. So when you are pressing this, be careful your iron doesn't touch that sticky fusible, because the fusible is sticky. It does have a residue. And if your iron does happen to touch it somehow, it'll coat the iron. So to have a wet towel ready, a wet rag, and that you can just run your hot iron on, and that'll come right off. So again, a layer of fabric, a layer of, I like the embroidery batting when I'm doing embroidery, and then the backing on this particular one was what I hooped the hoop with, which was fusible no-show mesh. This particular one, again, I did not do the fusible no-show mesh. I just did the embroidery batting, and then I did the fabric or the thread in the metallic. I want to tell you a little something about metallic. I've had many, many different videos on metallic threads, but when you're doing something like this, where you're actually quilting and you're on batting, it's very important you slow your machine down. And you really do have to watch it because it might twist. That's the only problem with metallic. It can twist. If you have a nice little thread stand like this, that helps a lot. But if you don't and you're putting it up here or straight up, you have to be careful how it comes off the spool, because it can twist and then it'll break, and then immediately you'll have an issue. So I really do am very careful. I can be careful and I can still have an issue, but I didn't have any with this, so it was kind of fun to see. Have your seam ripper ready there, but it's so nice to have bright metallic threads for the holidays that I think it's worth it. And this was actually metallic too. So once you put your piece together, and because this is batting, I just, if you can see maybe up close, Nick, this is actually, well, you can see it on the back here, because I used red thread. I actually did this on the Janome M17, the quilting. I just went around the little trucks. That's all I did. It's such a small piece. You probably wouldn't have needed to do the quilting, but see on the back there where you can see the quilting? I just went around each little truck, and I don't need to do anything here because this went right through. So the next step, you're going to put your right sides together. You're going to take this, and I heard my iron go off, and I'm going to turn it on because I'm going to show you a quick little pressing thing. And then I'm going to put another one over here, and these are right sides together. I'm going to sew along the outside, and because I have a pocket here, I can flip it right sides. The same way with here. And one of the things that I didn't give you measurements on this because of the fact that I just took scraps. So I'll tell you that this particular one was 6 inches. No, this is 7 inches. That's the width of what I'm doing. This particular one was 12 inches. And you're going to make the little flaps that are going to go over this at least 1 inch to 2 inches wider than the length and then the middle of the fabric. So in other words, I would cut, this is 12 inches, so I would cut a strip, half of 12 is 6, and I'd add 2 more inches. So this strip was cut to about, well, I cut this one longer. I cut this one at 14 inches, so I'm going to have a lap of probably 3 inches. And it's up to you what kind of a overlap that you're going to want. I'm going to stitch around this so you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But before you do that, go to your ironing board, and you know I have this wonderful Laura Star here that really does work well with your iron. And this is one of the times, you know, so often when I'm showing or teaching about quilting designs or quilting technique, I tell you not to press until you're finished. They do that quite often. I'll finger press, but I do not want you to distort the fabric. This is different. These little flaps that are going to allow you to go ahead and you know, cover up, have a little pocket to be able to turn it right side out. Again, this seam, I didn't do that because I had already prepared this, but I would always do a little shot of steam first before you press your little flaps or whatever it is that you're pressing. Now I'm going to take the right sides and put them together. The folds are going to be on top of each other. And then I'm just going to stitch right around the edge. And I'll do that on both of these. So let's get started here. I do have a Kaffe 770 in the studio, and it's a honey of a machine. Now this is a little bit longer, so you really do need to get your clips and clip them on there. I like these little tiny ones. I think you, not those, these. I do like to keep my clips in a container that shows exactly what they are, and these are all mixed together, so it's a little more difficult to do it. But you'll see on here the corners are where I really want to make sure that I've got this even. And if I don't, what do? Absolutely get that seam ripper out. I'd prefer that I make the mistakes so you don't have to, and you'll learn from them, and that's what this is all about, is to let me do it, and then you'll have fun that you can make this in a very short time. You can see the embroidery took, well, it depends on, you know, how much you're embroidering, but no more than 10, 15 minutes. And the pieces to put together literally took no more than 10 minutes. And you can see this is going to be nothing. This is important, though, that you do put the right sides together. So you can check that again. I'm going to continue sewing around all this piece. Now, do you see I'm going over the little flap here? And I go up to the corner, and you can trim this later. You don't have to worry. Normally I'd put my 1/4 inch seam on Do you see how nice this is where I'm raising and lowering this without taking my hands off of the fabric? This is about 1/4 right up to there. I raise my foot, turn my fabric, and continue on sewing. So let me do this all the way around. I'll do the same thing on the other one, and then I'll show you where we're at. I've finished sewing around all 4 corners. I'm going to trim this and kind of cut it in an angle. I don't think you have to be too fussy about trimming these. I do these real fast, and you can see if you haven't done it right, you can turn it back together and see. Now, this is where your turner comes in handy, and of course I left without mine today, but I think I can get these points turned pretty easily. If you really want to make a real nice little finished, you could also take and do a straight stitch with your number 10 foot or whatever edge stitch foot you have on your machine at home. That will, just give a nice crisp edge to the table, or to the mug rug, or the candle holder, or whatever it is that you're going to use this for. They are so handy. They're just and with the batting in there, you can actually put some hot cup of coffee on there and not worry. Now this is where I really do need the turner for the corners. I like to get those corners nice and straight and not too, that is not the dog ear look that I want. I want more of a poke. So I will get definitely get my little turner, my corner turner out when I get home. I will also, let's get rid of this mess here. I will also go ahead and press this very nice. And again, if you're just doing this real quick and easy, you don't have time to do you wouldn't have to do a straight stitch edging or top stitch. I like that edging. I think it looks much better. Here's another one I've done. You've seen this. This is one that is here for the holidays. It's a patriotic one. So again, it's real simple to do. It's a much smaller one. I actually got this idea from another craft fair, somebody who was doing some really cool things, and I thought, what a great idea. So I'll show that to you guys so you can have a real quick and easy project that you can do. And see, this one was not top stitched around the edge either, but it did have some things. Just a fun little one. So let's go finish this one, the one that I pressed. I'll again start with a 1/4 inch around the edge. The threads that I normally would use, I'm using a different thread here for you so you can see it a little bit easier. But normally what I would use is a metrazine thread, or if you have some good good Aurifil in these colors, Aurifil 30 weight would work very well too. So let me finish doing that. I'll trim it and then I'll come back. So I've trimmed the corners. I trimmed the outside of this little green one. You can't see this up close, I suppose, but the green has got little berries of kind of little strings of holly, and it's just very subtle but very pretty, and that's why I thought the red metallic would look nice with it. Again, I can't stress how important it is. You see the corners? They're just not the way I would like them. And this I was able to get a little bit, but that tube turner, the corner turner, I'll have a couple of those on the website so you can see what they look like. But one of the things that I would do before you, even get to that point is go to your iron, give a little press of steam. Make sure it's on first. What's really great is I have this iron turned off so that it doesn't, I don't forget, especially in the studio. And when it is ready to go, it'll have a big shot of steam. And then I'm going to just press the corners and take these little corners and kind of roll them with your thumb. Not the corners, the edges of the little candle mat or your coffee mat. I've had people ask me about, you probably just noticed that you see what I did? I pressed right over the metallic. Don't worry about that. It's not going to be an issue at all. At least it isn't with the Laura Star. If you have an iron that's set, you know, the highest you could possibly get, and you leave it on there for a few minutes, you might have an issue, but I have never had a problem pressing metallic thread. So this iron is ready. You want to get that little steam out. That'll keep it from dripping, and it will also keep any kind of any condensation that's in this tube will you know, work itself through, and it won't work itself onto your fabric. But you can see how nice. Now I'm not going to press these corners because I'm going to press this one on the edge because I want to show you the difference. And then I'll come over here so you can see what I'm talking about. I see a little thread popped out there. Look at the difference of this side. Look at how nice and smooth that is. Now I'm going to turn it to this side and look at the difference. So it's not pressed. The same way with here. Look at how nice that's pressed, that edge. And of course up here I haven't pressed these because, and do not do this. I'm going to show you what I could do. I could go in there, but why do I not want you to poke those corners out with a scissor? Because you'll poke right through it. You'll have something really fun, a couple of little things you can put in your stocking, or give it to a friend, or just have some fun with it. Make one for yourself. Last but not least, I have, this is not a quick and easy project, but this is one that I did. It's kind of an ongoing thing. I haven't finished it. It's one of those that I'm not sure I will finish it because I love showing it like this. This is all crazy patchwork, and it's done with all kinds of decorative threads and decorative stitches in your machine. So it's just a fun, you could take any purse pattern and do this, add a little cord or add a strap to it, and you just have a little, here, let me show you on here, a little holiday purse to go with your fun things for holiday time. Again, I want to thank everyone for watching, and just have a wonderful, relaxing holiday season. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas. I just hope everybody enjoys these couple of days that some of you have off, and just take some time for yourself, have a cup of hot chocolate, and think about us. Thanks, everyone.